2005 was a much simpler time, and a lot of great things happened in that year. But one of them was that the movie Zathura came out. I'm pretty sure I had this movie in a DVD pack with the original Jumanji, and I remember watching both of them a bunch of times back in the day. I thought they were both just so cool. Whether Jumanji or Zathura is better than the other, I don't really know. I don't feel like commenting on that because they're both fun movies to watch. And before you call Zathura a ripoff of Jumanji, the books that these movies were based on were actually written by the same guy, so be quiet. So I went back and rewatched Zathura recently, and it was pretty good. I'd say it still holds up. You've got a preteen Josh Hutcherson and his little brother in freaking outer space. You've got an astronaut, lizard aliens, a giant robot who wants to murder Josh Hutcherson, and you've also got Kristen Stewart.
You guys actually set the house on
vampire.
Oh, also this movie was directed by Jon Favreau, the man who obviously plays Happy in the MCU, and he's responsible for how real this movie looks. And I gotta say, the choice to use practical effects for things like the robot and the Zorgons instead of CGI was really nice to see. So Josh Hutcherson plays this kid named Walter and is a bit of a piece of shit. He has a little brother named Danny who he wishes wasn't around, and he continuously destroys Danny's self-esteem by reminding him that he's useless and that no one likes him. And it's really uncalled for. Like, his brother's a bit annoying, but he didn't really do anything wrong. Walter's just kind of an asshole for no reason.
such a dick!
Anyway, both of the kids compete for their dad's attention, who has to work like any grown adult, and unfortunately has to deal with shit like this.
I'm not a babe. You break all my stuff, you can't catch a ball.
That's enough.
And nobody wants you around.
That's enough.
Shut up.
So Shawshank Redemption goes back to the office to sort all that out, and so he wakes up Lisa, aka Kristen Stewart, to look after them. But she's kind of just like, oh, what? I'm a dumb, moony teenager, what? And then she goes back to sleep. And with the dad gone, the one moment that Danny gets of justice towards Walter throughout the entire movie happens way too early on.
You're dead.
That split second for me was very therapeutic. So Walter proceeds to chase Danny around the house, and like any normal person would, he ends up locking his 6-year-old brother in the fucking basement. That's insane. It's down here that Danny finds the Zathura board game and brings it back upstairs because he wants to play it with Walter. Walter's obviously not interested and thinks it looks stupid.
Will you play with me?
No.
I won't cheat.
Yeah, you will.
Don't you dare. Don't do it. Don't do it. You fuck! And just like that, Danny single-handedly ruins Walter, his own, and Kristen Stewart's lives at the push of a button, and we head on a space adventure. So how the game works is that the player needs to push the button as the equivalent of rolling dice to move their little rocket ship piece forward. Then a card will come out saying some kind of messed up shit that's gonna happen that round. And after Danny's roll gives them the goddamn meteor shower, the boys realize it's not a cute little family-friendly board game after all. It's actually a lifetime supply of PTSD.
Walter, check this out.
How are they still breathing? So the game transports them to freaking outer space, and after the game freezes Lisa, Walter convinces Danny that the only way out is to keep playing until they finish the game. And so now we get to see the scene where a giant robot appears and tries to fucking murder Walter for a good 5 minutes because he called him a bitch.
What does it do?
Anything I want.
Give me a juice box, biatch. You don't have to be such a jerk. Dude, you're just jealous because I have a robot and you don't. Why would I want...
Emergency. Alien life form must destroy.
You passed too close to Source 3. Inner gravity field.
I know he's trying to stay put and like wedge himself in the doorway because they just entered a gravity field or whatever, but this robot's literally trying to decapitate him and it looks like he's just standing there like, "What's up?" I didn't edit that. That's actually how the movie was edited.
Rest on standing astroturf.
What?
Rescue stranded astronaut.
What a dumbass. And then we get to the part where Dax Shepard rocks up as the astronaut, and I gotta say, from this point on, the movie gets a whole lot more entertaining than it already was. And at this point, the boys have attracted some man-eating lizards called Zorgons to the house, so the astronaut helps them hide by turning off all the lights in the house.
That's that snap couch.
And despite him literally saving their lives and being the only likable character in the house, Walter tries to kick him out because he's eating all their food.
Well, I'm Fleet Admiral, and I'm telling you to hit the road.
I apologize, sir. I didn't realize you were Fleet Admiral. In fact, I'm a Fleet Admiral too. It's just a car, bug nuts.
But it turns out Danny's the one in charge because he's the one who spun the astronaut, so he lets him stay. So when they go back to keep playing, Walter finds out that Danny cheated by moving his rocket ship piece a few spaces ahead. So Walter gets a bit mad and he moves it back. But the game actually thinks that Walter was the one who cheated, so this happens to him.
He's the one who cheated.
I like how a kid just got launched into outer space, and this is their reaction. They're just like, oh, that's too bad. But the astronaut saves him, whatever. Walter takes his turn and he gets this sweet card that tells him that he gets to make a wish, and then he starts a fight with Danny for literally no reason at all.
A few more and I win. I hope you win. I don't care who wins. It's because you never win at anything, Danny. And you almost got me killed. It wasn't my fault. It's not your fault? How is it not your fault? This is all your fault. Everything's your fault. It's your fault Mom and Dad got divorced.
Hey!
Jesus, okay. Hey Walter, I just want you to know that I love you and appreciate you as my brother. We're in this together, and I'll be really happy for you if you win.
Fuck you, man. You're a piece of shit.
Anyway, what Walter wishes for is possibly the dumbest thing you could ever wish for in that situation. A football. But not just any football, an autographed football. He didn't wish for an endless supply of food. He didn't wish the game over. No. Football, signed by Brett Favre. And people ask me why I don't want kids. The astronaut tells the boys that he in fact played this game with his own brother back in the day, and when he got the same card as Walter, he wished his brother had never been born, which is why he's been stuck in space this whole time, and why he was yelling at Walter when he was making his wish because he thought he was going to do the same thing. And so the boys are like, wow man, that's really fucked up. So they stop fighting for the rest of the movie pretty much. Then they find out that the Zorgons accidentally stole the game from their living room by blowing it up or whatever, so they start burning the house to lure them back. And when the Zorgons come back, Lisa wakes up and freaks out because she only realizes now that they're in space, and then she falls in love with the astronaut.
Hey.
So the rest of the movie is the guys trying to get the game back from the Zorgons so they can finish the game and forget it ever happened. And I'm not really going to get into too much of what happens here, but I will say it's a fun time and the Zorgons look really cool. But here's where the craziest shit happens. After they get the game back and fucking kill all the Zorgons, Walter gets another card to make a wish. And this time he actually makes a good wish, which is for the astronaut to have his brother back. We're an hour and 28 minutes into the movie and Walter finally realizes what it takes to not be an asshole. But then another Danny appears, and then the astronaut starts talking to him, and what's that? The astronaut was actually Walter the whole time?
He was me. Yeah.
Oh my god. And I wanted to...
So I actually really like that twist, because when you look back on the movie, you can kind of see that the astronaut the whole time was just future Walter trying to treat Danny the way he wishes he treated him 15 years ago, and that he was just trying to put his younger self in his place and like prevent him from wishing Danny away. That's cool. I can get behind that. It gets a bit confusing if you think about it for too long, but we're not here to do that.
I think we're home.
So after the astronaut and the other Danny disappear and get like absorbed by our versions of Danny and Walter, Danny takes his turn and wins the game. So they time travel back to the moment at the beginning where, don't push that fucking button, you piece of shit. Walter and Danny get along now, and the dad doesn't believe a word they say, and Lisa's traumatized by wanting to do something to an older version of her own brother. But I'm not sure what she wanted to do because she never finished her sentence there. Might have to contact these guys to find out what that was all about. The end. Now this movie was pretty good. Even if there are some unanswered questions like, first of all, how and why was such a demented board game lying around in this house in the first place? How did this star not blind them when they looked at it? Better yet, how did this star not completely fry them when they were like that close to it? Is the astronaut time traveling from the same universe as Danny and Walter, or is there some kind of weird multiverse shit going on here? And most of all, what happens if they died in space and then Shawshank Redemption came home and saw that his house had literally been like removed from the earth and all three of his kids just vanished forever? That's what I'm most concerned about. But I'm willing to let all of that slide and just enjoy this movie for what it is. I think it's still a fun, nostalgic flick that you probably forgot about. It very much reminded me of simpler times. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe for more, and share this video with someone else who might enjoy it too, because as you can see, we are so close to hitting my goal of reaching 100,000 subscribers. All we need is one more gentle shove towards that silver play button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.